Hello everyone, this is J Empire Queen, and today I'm going to talk to you about Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. And I have to say that while I enjoy this game, it definitely does have its flaws. But would I stir people away from buying this game? No. I think if you look at it with an open mind, with careful consideration, it can actually be something that you can enjoy and add to your Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 collection. Now, what I'm playing is the Nintendo Switch 1 version, and you can probably see the graphics aren't great. Okay, sometimes there's like phasing in and out. You get kind of a little bit of a generic quality, but the cutscenes are amazing. You know, beautiful, beautiful artwork nonetheless. But what makes this game special, it's not that it's a Rune Factory game, because technically I feel like this game feels less like a Rune Factory and more like a combination of Genshin and Legend of Zelda with a Japanese or Eastern twist. You see, I'm used to the classic Rune Factories. They're less of an oriental setting, more of a small town or village area, and you're very cozy, very nestled within that area. Now, you can still explore, say, in Rune Factory 3, 4, 5. You know, there's still, like, outside areas to explore, but this is the really first in-depth open world. Now, there are elements of the game that are very much like Rune Factory. You're going to hear some of the similar sounds. Say, for instance, when you save the game, you're going to hear the kind of charm or jingle that plays in the other one.
Good night.
Or several of the other ones. Of course, there's your farming elements, and there's crafting, there's cooking. I've gone to about 3 of the 4 villages so far. I haven't seen any fishing option yet. I'm hoping that that's going to show up, because fishing is a really fun part of Rune Factory for me. In fact, when I started playing my first Rune Factory, which was 3 on the DS, I really enjoyed that element of the game and the entire experience of that game. Now, like in Rune Factory games, you have bonding, you know, forging friendships and forging romance. But I find that everything seems cheapened when it comes to those bonds. Okay, it feels like they could have really spent some time on creating these scenes which are memorable to the characters. Instead, we get kind of a quick flash of, say, a character in the mountains or a character in the forest, and that's it. Then they say a little something and the bond increases. It's not like how you really had to work for it when you were playing the other Rune Factories. You really have to kind of build up that gauge, give them the gifts they like for it to go up, and it feels like you have to work for it. Here, it feels very easy, and in fact, everything feels easy in this game, whether it be combat, farming, crafting. All of it lacks a challenge. I do like that there is a skill tree in this Rune Factory, and that it feels like you're really utilizing the tools that you've been given, such as the drums, the fans, the dancing cherry blossom wand. You're really leveling those up, as well as your cooking and self-improvement skills, your weapons, It's a very nice element, and I think that is done extremely well. Combat is fast-paced. It's fun, no doubt. I definitely love exploring and fighting enemies and finding different things in the world of Azuma, but it's not really challenging. Once you figure out, oh, I can do a special technique with this drum or with this flame sword, it helps you defeat some of the more top-tier bosses in the games. This is a very chill, relaxing game that I found myself pouring hours into. And I really enjoyed my overall experience. I believe I struggled a little bit with figuring out what villagers are best suited for which jobs and how to best attract villagers to the villages. But other than that, nothing's a challenge. It's all just fun. Bonding with characters is simple. You're given different choices of events and things you can do, whether that's giving a gift or, taking them to a shop to eat. All of those things you can do and more once you deepen your bond with them. Bonding with characters is an essential part of the game, as it allows you to take them with you on your journeys, and they're all very useful fighters. You have characters who are debuffers, buffers, attackers, defenders, and healers, and they are a great asset to you when you are on the field. I always try to have at least a healer on my team if I'm going out into the field. Now, Rune Factory is kind of sprinkled with a lot of fun mysteries to discover. For instance, Yoichi, if you find targets in the game and you hit those targets, you'll get special items. There's also different islands that you can explore in the sky, which once you unlock the dragon, you can then go to those islands, and they have sometimes different things you can find and different people to meet. And so that is a very unique element. I have not fully completed any of the other Rune Factories, but I don't recall seeing anything like this when it comes to the dragon. Actually being able to ride it and to have this experience of traveling in the sky, it's very fun. It's very beautiful, and I think it's great.
Splendid!
Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma also has a lot of DLC that is worth investing in if you like cosmetics and if you want to unlock 2 character romances in the game. Now, eventually I'm going to get that DLC, and that's going to give me some more replayability when it comes to getting my money's worth of this game. But there's also a free DLC if you haven't gotten it. It's called Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, and it's part of the Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma DLC. You can get this free on the Nintendo eShop. You get to fight with the character on your team, and you get to put their house in your village, as well as you can grow rice crops. So it's kind of a lot of nice special thing to do. Now, every Rune Factory game I've played has crops that you can grow. It's a main part of kind of the cozy feel of the game. But what's different here is in order to actually plant or place a field down, you have to craft the field. And you have to do that by contacting your little comrade, Woolby. I wish that instead of having you kind of press that button in order to craft those things, that you just had like a quick button you could press open your own menu and do it yourself. I mean, you can already open up a menu to plant the crops. Why can't you do so to put the fields down too? I guess it's maybe to give Woolby more of a part in the game, but it seems a bit unnecessary to me. The story in Guardians of Azuma is actually pretty interesting. Of course, you're your amnesiac character, but you've got a huge role in this game. Even if you don't understand it fully yourself, you have to go around and heal the land of this blight, which is destroying the villages and making it impossible for them to grow.
Little onigiri rolls and rolls and rolls. Rolls and rolls until it goes right down a hole.
In a way, you're kind of like that little onigiri going down the hole. You've got to figure out how to save Azuma. And the tools you're given are actually amazing. So for instance, if you use your drum and you use it around crops, it helps them grow faster. But it can also be used in combat and allow you to push enemies back while you heal your characters on your team. And for the cherry blossom wand, which you do your dance, actually can also help you bond with other characters. So every weapon of sorts that you acquire, every musical or God-given gift you acquire in this game serves multiple purposes.
There, that ought to perk things right up. Let's head back to the sacred tree.
Now, you may be wondering, how can I really judge this game when I've only played over 15 hours? A little bit over 15 hours. Well, I'm a huge fan of the series. I've loved the Rune Factory games ever since I learned about them. Before that, I was a big Harvest Moon fan. And so I really know what this series is about. I really know also how it's changing now. And I have to say, while it is an adjustment, I don't love everything about it. Sometimes the characters seem a bit generic, a bit more generic than they were. And it seems like we might be losing some originality when it comes to character designs and personalities. I do think that the series, as far as combat and story, has a lot of potential. There are things it certainly needs to do better. I think it needs to retain some of the charm that the old games had, such as when you're having scenes that are longer and more detailed. Maybe have more families in these villages who know each other better and seem to talk to each other and interact a bit more. You know, when you play the older Rune Factory games, everything feels more connected. Everyone knows each other. There's really deep dialogue that reveals a lot about the characters. And here we're just giving like small snippets in a scene here or there. But is there anything more than face value that connects us to these people? There's a few characters I like Aroha or Ulala, but I mean, the rest kind of also make me think of Fire Emblem Engage characters, and that's kind of when I started to lose a bit of respect for those games, because I just feel like the art style is becoming less unique and natural than it ever was before. By no means am I hating on this game. I'm just pointing out some of the flaws that I see when comparing it to other games in the series. But once again, it also has a lot of pluses, and it can be a lot of fun just to relax and to kind of figure out how this new Rune Factory system works. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I would probably give it a 6.5, because there are times when it can kind of drag on. But overall, I would recommend it for fans of the series who are a bit more open-minded to change. Have you played Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma? What do you think of the game? Leave your comments below, and please like, subscribe, and have a great day.